Hello and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk to you about, I've been seeing a lot of posts on Facebook and Instagram and just a lot of hype about choosing a word for the year, right? And what's your word? What's your word? What's your word? And really, as I thought about it, is I have chosen a word every single year. And really by like the end of January, it already is gone, right? I don't even feel it anymore. I don't feel the word. I don't feel, I forget about it, right? So I want to give you some pointers on what to do about choosing your word, how to choose your word, and how to utilize your word, right? So a couple of things as you choose your word. You want to choose a word that feels good to you. A word that just as you say it, it just really, really feels good on your body, feels good on your mind, feels good in your heart, just feels good for you. You also don't want to choose a word that you think other people want for you. You want to choose a word that's good for you. Something that you want, not that you need, right? Or maybe it's something that you need, right? But it's not something that you think somebody else wants for you, but rather what you want for you. And another thing that I want you to think about as you choose your word is, if this were December 31st of 2021, what would be the one word that you would want to describe your 2021? What's that one word? Is it abundant? Is it joyful? Is it happy? Is it healthy? Is it ease? Is it successful, abundant? What is it? If this were December 31st, 2021, what would you use one word to describe your year? What's the one word that you would want? That kind of helps you reflect about what kind of year you want to have. Another thing that you really need to think about is, our mind, our thought pattern always goes back to the familiar. It always goes back to what it knows, right? This is neuroplasticity, right? And neuroplasticity is talking about making the changes in your brain, right? And look it up if you want to, but basically it's our brain always goes to the familiar. It always goes back to what it doesn't want to work, right? That's why we always go back into the same patterns. So you really want to make your word, if you really want to make your word stick, if you want to make your word change, then you really got to do something about it. But because if you don't, then you're going to keep going to the same thing over and over again, because again, you're going to go back to the familiar. You're going to go back to what the way things are, right? And if you want things to be different, you got to do different things. So some of the things that you could do is, as you choose your word, and I'll tell you what I chose for my word for 2021. My word for 2021 is ease. Ease, right? As I go into this year, I want things to be easy. I want things to go effortless. I want to be able to attract the things that bring me peace and joy and happiness and laughter and fun, right? And so as I think about my word, and my word is ease, every morning when I wake up, I'm going to think about the word ease, and I'm going to think about that word. I'm going to think about how it feels. I'm going to think about the things that would bring me ease in that day. So the first thing that you want to do is every morning think about the word that you have chosen, right? Think about what that would feel like, what that feels like in your body, what that feels like in your heart, in your mind, what does that feel like? And then think about, if I choose that word, if I choose the word of happy, for example, what would a happy person do today? What would a happy person eat today? What would a happy person decide today? What would a happy person dress like today? What would a happy person talk about today? And so that really is going to allow you to think about your word over and over and over again, so that you're able to live your word, whatever that word is, whatever you choose your word to be, right? It could be comfort, it could be abundance, right? We talked about that at the beginning of this video. So really keep the word alive. Remember, in order for you to make change, you really need to do repetition over and over again, because you fell into a pattern that you're living in right now because you were in repetition. It was over and over and over again. So if you want something different, you got to do something, that you haven't done before, a word that you haven't chosen, or a word that you've chosen before in the past, but do something different. And so live it different. Every day, ask yourself, what would a person of ease do today? What would a person, and that's what I'm going to be asking myself every day, right? What would a person that chooses ease as their word, what would that person do today? What would that person decide? How would that person live today? How would that person dress today? What would that person eat today? And that will bring your word to life every single day, so that maybe your word can go with you into February, into March, into April. So hopefully you can live that word out, so that when you're looking back at December 31st of 2021, you have lived that word. So I hope this helps you. I hope it helps to put your word into practice. And hopefully on December 31st, you can say, December 31st of 2021, you could say, that word was what I lived. So until next time, remember to subscribe to my channel if you want to keep continuing to get videos. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day.